We strive to balance the need for completeness with the need for expediency, and we are confident that we uncovered sufficient evidence to conclude that Mr. Zacharias engaged in sexual misconduct. Hello, and welcome to the Spaghetti Junction podcast episode 14.
Woo!
Wow.
Come on.
Damn. My name is Bruce.
And my name is Gareth.
And we talk about things. We
just don't know where they're gonna go.
How's it going, bud? It's been a while, hey?
Well, I mean, between 13 and 14, yeah.
It feels like a while.
Because you haven't seen me for a while.
I know.
I think it's cute.
It's like, yeah, it's pretty adorable.
Although we were saying that I was more of the chick in the relationship, which I didn't quite like. That was a bit hurtful. Although I do like chicks. Just because you got more of the gruff voice.
I do.
And I got more of the, I don't know. It's just not gruff and beautiful.
Softer feminine voice.
Screw you. Not allowed to swear in the first 30 seconds, so you're lucky.
Yes. Oh, yes. Remember, we got what? Tell us about that, Gareth, because you run all the analytics and the all that the insider YouTube stuff that.
Well,
and you give me daily reports almost.
I do actually. No, I really like knowing what's going on, and I mean it's not that I have a life outside of this podcast.
I think the daily voice notes this week have been like seriously up there. You just kind of keeping me up to date on the views
on everything,
and all of that. The views are actually getting up there a little bit more. Hey,
look, I mean I'm extremely thankful to to everyone listening.
Absolutely.
We're averaging around about 20 views / listening per episode, which
that's absolutely fantastic.
And we were going on a few every episode, like I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7. So
yes.
To average about 20, even on the rubbish ones.
You're saying some of our podcasts are
I
rubbish.
shouldn't.
Yes, love.
Well, I'm just picking up from what people don't like. Well, not like. They don't listen to as much as the other ones. So I'm perceiving people are saying, yeah, rubbish.
Yes. You said me calling you a girl was hurtful. My word. Wow.
I didn't call it rubbish. Sorry. I'm perceiving.
So you're perceiving them as rubbish.
You know what? You know what? Fine. No. Okay. So sorry. I'm just trying to look up the, while I'm talking, I should have probably prepared this faster, because I didn't know it was going to go in this direction. But I'm just actually trying to get into the Spaghetti Junction podcast Gmail with the password I'm kidding. You're going to get into our freaking Gmail. Not that people really want to get into our podcast. But you know what? People might want to be sneaky.
No, we definitely do want people to get into our podcast.
Are you?
Like, seriously?
I meant to say our email. You're right. Sorry. Take that. We do need more of you into our email. Screw you.
That was brilliant.
So anyways,
moving swiftly along.
So we received an email in our Spaghetti Junction podcast @gmail.com with a partner. Said this, from the YouTube community guidelines. Hi, Spaghetti Junction podcast. That's very friendly, isn't it? We wanted to let you know that our team has reviewed your content. Thank you. And we don't think it is in line with our community guidelines in blocks in brown. Bold, damn you.
So we're getting doxed already.
As a result, we've age restricted the following content. Have a guess. I mean, what do you think is the most dodgiest one we've ever done out of our 13 episodes so far? I mean, where do you think we are going to get banned?
I thought maybe it would be the one we talked about, war.
It's possible, yes.
Or
youngsters dying. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, God, if that's not serious, I don't know what
then
is.
What is?
I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, I mean, the other one which I thought it would have been is our South African slangs and stuff, because we used a few choice words in there.
Oh yeah, that was definitely not safe for work.
No.
It's not safe for school children either.
Not safe for me sometimes. So the video that they said has been age restricted is episode 4, the metric of happiness.
Because that's just Because maybe
Don't talk about happiness on our YouTube channel.
maybe happiness just doesn't. Happiness obviously doesn't fall in line with YouTube's guidelines.
So the only kind of they said we haven't applied a strike to your channel. Thank you. And your content is still live for some users on YouTube. Keep reading for more details on what this means and steps you can take if you'd like to appeal this. I tried to appeal it. It wouldn't let me.
Sure.
So I did a bit of research. And what I'm understanding is that at least the first 30 seconds to a minute, if there's anything profane or words that they find unfriendly for youngsters.
Untoward.
Thank you. So the first 30 seconds, and I don't think I'm going to use the word now, I don't think they will stop, but just in case. I don't want another one freaking age restricted.
Yeah.
Bruce said the word 6. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I asked Bruce, did you say 6?
Okay.
We laughed, thought it was funny, and obviously YouTube was like, you cannot say. So I guess
YouTube obviously didn't think it was funny.
bloody hell. No sense of humor. So yeah, so if you're under 18 now, all of a sudden you can't listen to The Metric of Happiness.
Wow.
So it sucks to be you. You're never going to be happy. You are buggered. You are screwed. You're going to have a shitty, horrible life. I'm kidding. Sorry. Apologize. It's a bit of anger at YouTube.
Let's hope YouTube, the algorithms didn't pick up the swearing that you just did.
No. That word I've used a lot.
And they're okay with it.
That's my go-to word, which I'm sure you've heard, which I don't find.
That's also true.
I don't find it's profane. Do you find it profane?
I find it profound.
I like you.
I like me too.
You do. Good, Bruce. Yes. So if you are under 18, then you'll never know what the metric of happiness is.
You are going to be so sad until you're 18.
Yeah. Which unfortunately is a lot of youngsters.
Well, yeah.
They have a lot of angst.
Welcome to being a teenager.
Thank you, Bruce. I finally reached it. Finally reached it at my old age. Finally act like a teenager again.
Finally reached puberty.
That is very true, actually. Although there are
weird stuff starts to happen.
There are actually hairs where they're meant to be hairs.
Start thinking about girls.
I do, Bruce.
I know. We all do.
I'm still looking for a girlfriend. So if anybody wants to apply, you can leave a comment. And we'll screen you first, and then I'll get Bruce to do a first checkup on you.
Yeah, well, I'll be screening. I'm not just going to let anyone get into a relationship with my
relationship.
best mate.
And don't fall for Bruce's fruity voice, because then I haven't got a chance.
Yeah, considering the compliments that I've gotten from voice notes.
From where, Bruce? You brought it up. We're going to finish it.
Oh, we're going to... Okay, so basically...
Where are you leaving voice notes that people give you nice feelings for?
So basically, if I am on a dating app like Tinder or Bumble...
Not a sponsor.
Not at all.
Not at all.
If I'm on Tinder and the messaging goes well and we exchange phone numbers, a lot of times I will say, listen, let's go over to WhatsApp. Are you cool with that? Or sometimes the girl will actually just volunteer her number.
Of course you will.
Almost straight away.
Wow, Bruce.
Which was a good sign.
Swing.
I will immediately send them a voice note. I will not text them on WhatsApp. I will send them a voice note.
Why, Bruce?
Firstly, it makes things a bit more personal. And the main reason is that they love my voice.
Is that what they say?
So, yes.
Someone actually said, I like your voice.
Yes, I have got.
Okay, fine. Then I can't.
And then the nice thing about Bumble is that when you can message on Bumble when you've matched with someone, after the girl has had to send the first message,
wow,
you can actually send voice notes on Bumble, which you can't do on Tinder. And so obviously I respond on Bumble with a voice note.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
And then do you meet up and bumble a bit in your room? Get a bit of bumbling going on. Operative word bum. Disgusting.
Careful, YouTube algorithms.
I think listening. I think it's now very clear that under 18s, look guys, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I had to use those words. Profound as they are.
Or profane.
Profane. Profanely profound.
Or profoundly profane.
Wow. Oh. I'm enjoying this podcast already.
Yes, look at us.
And I think it's a good thing that we're going in lightly because
Just been going from light to like.
because our topic, and then we didn't really bring up, but that's okay.
We never do.
Actually, I know we're meant to like start. Hey, in this episode,
We always try to. So we're gonna.
and then we end up going completely different, opposite direction. Yeah. So, this is a very hot topic, so to speak. It's very recent, if that's the right word to use. Yes, because it happened recently, so it's a good word to use. It is about a person called Ravi Zacharias.
Absolutely.
And he has been in the news for, unfortunately, all the wrong reasons. And we're going to have a look and have what's going to come across is our views. So, it doesn't. So, yeah, we're not, speaking on behalf of, of other Christians, or Christianity as a whole.
Yeah.
We're just here to share our views, like them or not. This is why we do a podcast. But we're not here to do like a whole judgmental thing, because that's already, being done by hundreds of thousands, millions of people.
Yeah.
We're just here to really like find out more about him, go into depth as to why he is in the news right now. And then the biggest focus really of what we're doing is just, what is the question that we're going to be asking, dude? Our major focus is really on what?
I think why does this happen? The question of why, because all the facts come out in the news about some, especially Christian leader, church leader, or whatever, that all this stuff happens to, and then you find there's allegations, and then they're true, and you find out all the facts, but then. It's nice to think about. Well, okay, it's not nice to think about, but I mean, it's interesting to think about why would this kind of thing happen, and how, because it happens quite often.
Not just to him, yeah.
No, he's just the last in a very long line of very prominent Christian leaders who have fallen short, been found out, all that kind of thing. Not just people slinging sort of untrue allegations, but stuff that's actually come out as true. Exactly.
And there's also finding or us questioning, and trying to bring in some form of truth, if that makes sense, from what we've been reading as to, was the organization aware? And if they were, why didn't they do anything?
Yeah.
So, and bear in mind also, people, is that we are taking these views from research, and most of it comes, from a lot of researching on the net and so forth. So it's not just like we sat down and and grabbed the like first two things we looked on YouTube for or on the internet for. We have actually spent quite a bit of time, and bear in mind what we these are from the internet, so maybe they're not 100% true or not, but we're just going on what we have found, and then we're going to be adding in our view and feelings as to what's going on.
Cool. That's it.
So Ravi Zacharias, for some who don't know, was born in 1946. He's also was. Oh, let me actually say that right now. He passed away late last year. So this is now why he was. Okay. He was an Indian-born Canadian American, and he's known as a Christian apologist.
Which is always an interesting word, because you go, apologist, that comes, the words apology and apologize coming from. So I don't like that, because if you call yourself a Christian apologist,
apologizing,
it sounds like you're apologizing for being a Christian, but no, it's not what it means.
What does it mean?
It's basically you are someone who provides an argument for a particular.
There we go.
I think. Cause or cause or belief.
So he founded the RZIM, which is the Ravi Zacharias International Ministry. He was involved in the Christian apologetics for a period spanning more than 40 years, and then he's written a lot of books. He's written more than 30 books. That's quite a lot of writing.
Yeah.
yeah, like if you want to read about them more, then you can go online. He's done them mostly in the category theology and doctrine. And then he was the founder, which I mentioned, and the chairman of the board of the Ravi Zacharias International Ministries. And he hosted a lot of radio programs as well. You want to learn about those, go, then you can search. And he was a lifelong minister of the Christian and Missionary Alliance, the Keswickian Christian denomination in which he was ordained. Keswickian. Okay, I'm going to look up that while we talk more. And then this is where we're going from here, where he has been accused of exaggerating his academic qualifications, but more recently, which is why we're talking about him, multiple sources accuse such as Ravi Zacharias of serious sexual misconduct. And on the 9th of February of this year, Miller and Martin, which is a law firm hired by RZIM to look into these allegations, confirmed their veracity. So what we are going to talk about, I just want to underline here or underscore here, is that the Miller and Martin, which is the law firm hired by the actual Ravi Zacharias International Ministry, looking into these allegations, confirmed their veracity, meaning they were true.
Yeah, they came to the conclusion that stuff had gone down.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So having a look at a few of the allegations, I'm just going to read out a bunch of things that we found online, just so you. And look, I would imagine if you are a Christian, you will know about him. I mean, he's been very impactful, in a good way.
Yeah.
On a lot of, on a huge amount of, of people.
Yeah.
Over the 40 years of his ministries. So when this all came out, the majority of the people who knew him, who read his books, who listened to his talks and so forth, were quite hit back, if that makes sense. They were quite
because
shocked / surprised / saddened.
Yeah, because you're gonna if you follow the teachings of someone, you've invested in them.
Yeah.
Whether it's mentally, emotionally, spiritually, in the case of Christian leaders.
Yep.
Or leaders of other religions, you're going to invest in them, and then when kind of it feels like the rug gets pulled out from under you when allegations like that come out. You're like, because in a lot of people's mind, that person can do no wrong.
Exactly, and that was half the problem.
Yeah, it's interesting when you actually first mentioned Ravi Zacharias, I didn't know exactly who you were talking about, but actually a picture of someone came up in my mind. I was like, maybe that's the guy. And then I went to go and look. It's like, hey, it's the guy.
Okay,
So
yeah.
On some level, I did know who you're talking about, because
Yeah.
I'm not one who follows a lot of sort of very prominent evangelical leaders, should I say? So
yeah. So going into the allegations, I'm just going to read a few things here. So the report, from this lawyer's firm, which was hired by the RZIM. The report said that investigators interviewed more than a dozen massage therapists. Now, before I carry on into this, I did not know, but he owned a few massage parlors. And that I find, I just don't. Okay, I'll just say what I say. If you're working in the church, / in evangelical areas, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I spoke, I spoke with my mum about this, and we both agreed. Owning something, owning a massage parlor, I think is putting yourself in danger. I just think you're working with massage, as in hands and things that happen at some places, called the what are they called? A happy ending is what a few of them have at the massage. I'm not saying that was with his. I just found out of all the things that he could have owned
or invested in.
Why massage parlors?
Yeah.
And there was some locally and some overseas as well.
Well, apparently he did suffer from muscle pain, back pain, and stuff like that, especially in his older years.
Correct.
So that was one of the reasons.
So let me just carry on with that. Okay. So it said that Ravi Zacharias, okay, he had more than 200 massage therapist names in his phone. 200. If your back is that sore, I'm sure you can find 3 or 4 around the corner. 200. Sorry, I know I'm sounding a bit facetious, but this is just where we are right now. Okay, so
no, I get you.
I apologize if it makes anyone's back go up, but I'm just being real. Okay, it's included many in Southeast Asia, and they focused primarily on a small group and did not research in Asia. 2 said that they saw his behavior, being nude and aroused during a massage, which happens. I haven't been to a massage bar, so I can honestly say I don't know, but I would imagine at the right, in apostrophes, if you want to go to one, you can find one.
Yeah.
As cultural and not... Oh, sorry, so let me just say this again. 2 said they saw his behavior, being nude and aroused during a massage, as cultural and not otherwise offensive. But the rest interviewed complained of unwelcome touching, requests, and exposures. Some spa employees said that Zacharias would grab their breasts or their crotches. One said Zacharias raped her. I don't know if that has been confirmed. This is just what was brought into it. The report said so. So that has actually been brought into the report. His phones had 200 photos of young women, including some who were naked. The report said that in the years after... Oh, this is going to be discussing the Thompson, so I won't go into that yet. That was the first lady who actually brought some of these things to light, and there was a whole thing going on. But anyway, so a lot happening in just that one paragraph.
Yeah. I think he had a lot of the. It was mainly. It seemed like it was, according to the report, it was mainly like sort of unwanted physical contact. Correct. And then there was pretty much one allegation.
One allegation
of actual rape.
Yeah, that's correct. Yes.
So, he was actually he. It doesn't seem like he was actually directly involved in the ownership of the spas. He
wasn't.
According to the report, I've actually got the report in front of me. Sorry.
Thank you. Speaking to the microphone.
Microphone technique. I'm going to try and look at the mic and my laptop at the same time.
That'd be helpful. Cool. Yes. Okay. So he wasn't. Thank you for fact checking that. That's a big one.
Yeah. According to corporate records on file with the Georgia State Secretary of State, the Touch of Eden Spa was incorporated in 2004 and dissolved in 2008. Wait.
No, there were more, I'm sure.
Yeah, Mr. Zacharias is not listed on corporation documents filed with the Georgia Secretary of State for either company, and he did not appear to have any role in managing the day-to-day operation of the spa. He told one massage therapist that he was a silent investor in both spas.
So he was
an investor.
Okay, an investor. Yeah, okay, I get you.
He sort of just put some money in. And one of the owners of Jivan Wellness told us that Zacharias invested as well, but we are not able to confirm how much, if any money, he invested. So the report couldn't.
So he didn't own, but he pretty much owned part of it, as in he was an investor.
I think he financially helped them out.
So I guess from your view, I mean, from what you're mentioning, about his back pains, it's a high probability that yes, I said high probability.
Where are you going with this?
No, nothing.
Oh, okay.
It's a high probability, therefore, that he did invest into them because he needed work done on his back.
Yeah.
and then that's a high possibility.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And
So that's a possibility. The other side will ask, but it's still investing into a massage parlor. If you ever want to invest money, how many massage parlors actually come back and make you a crap load of money?
yeah,
I don't really know if it's a huge return.
Well, I probably got returns in certain ways, but probably not financially. I'm just saying.
Wow.
I'm just saying. Yeah, because if you want a financial return on investment, a massage.
Well, that's
parlor
just
is
my
not-
question.
Yeah.
So that's like, okay, well, let's just leave it there. But yeah, I think that's one side of the coin and the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
So, okay. So there, I think there were a few. Can we have a look at, unless you have a few more of the allegation side of stuff?
I don't have any. No, not really from the allegations. My thoughts now are sort of going to possible questions
Okay.
of why.
No,
it
let's not
happened
go
and
there
that
yet.
Kind of thing. Okay, cool.
Because we have quite a way to go until we get to that.
Cool.
If that makes sense to you.
Cool. If you.
No. I mean, I just think we'll miss out on a few more facts about him before we can get to that point.
Cool. Let's do it.
Okay, so I'm going to just touch on someone called Lorraine Thompson. Okay. So Lorraine Thompson, it was a case that came up in 2017.
I did read about her briefly and things that went on between her and
Yes, so
Zacharias.
yeah, so there was a case, what I was saying about Laurie Ann Thompson, who is a Canadian woman who accused Zacharias of engaging in sexually explicit online conversation and exploiting her vulnerability to satisfy his own sexual desires.
Yeah, so let's have a little bit of a chat, a little bit of a in-depth detail about Laurie Ann Thompson. So,
Yep.
as mentioned here in the report, the scope of the investigation include allegations involving Mr. Zacharias and a Canadian woman named Laurie Ann Thompson. Ms. Thompson accused him of engaging in sexually explicit online conversations with her and also soliciting and ultimately receiving many indecent photos of her. She claimed that he groomed her as he gained her trust as a spiritual guide, confidant, and notable Christian statesman, after which she opened up her life, in inverted commas, to him to the point where he exercised a controlling influence over her as one with spiritual authority. He used this influence, she claimed, to exploit her vulnerability, to satisfy his own sexual desires. While they were never physically intimate, Ms. Thompson alleged that they engaged in an emotional relationship through electronic communications that culminated in him asking for photographs of her, including nudes, which she sent. In order to avoid protracted and public litigation, on April 27, 2017, the Thompsons sent Mr. Zacharias a letter demanding $5 million in exchange for a release of claims against him and the ministry. So there you go.
Crazy. 5 million.
So they maybe had a plan even before then
Well, that's the one school of thought.
to extort him.
That's one school of thought. But as we get into this, you're going to see that's actually not what happened.
Okay, so it was maybe a genuinely emotional.
Let's get into this. It's so 3 months then after that, Zacharias then sued the couple in federal court for extortion, and the couple and Zacharias settled the dispute confidentially in the fall of 27. He told the board of OZAM that he was a victim of extortion and the matter was not investigated, according to the report.
Okay.
Witnesses within the OZAM told investigators that they were marginalized for raising questions about his explanations. The OZAM statement this week, though, said the investigative findings caused us to think very differently about Thompson's 2017 allegations. Just before we get into their full response from that, I want to just carry on to some other allegations that will tie in with what's happened with her.
Okay.
So, Zacharias. The report said that in the year after suing the Thompsons for alleged extortion, Zacharias received more than 50 photos from another woman, including nudes. One came the day after he made his statement, the report said.
Ouch.
Yeah. Multiple witnesses in the report, none of whom were named, described Zacharias as using a familiar pattern of asking about their family history, financial and spiritual situations, and then initiating sexual contact. The woman who accused Zacharias of rape reported that he made her pray with him to thank God. It's difficult to read. To thank God for the opportunity they both received, the report said. Yes. She said he called her his reward for living a life of service to God. And he referenced the godly men in the Bible with more than one wife. Again, this is alleged, but this is quite in depth. So we're not saying that we believe this or we don't. We're just bringing you what we have found.
Yeah.
But we do have thoughts, I'm sure. She said he warned her not ever to speak out against him, or she would be responsible. Check this out. She said he warned her not to ever speak out against him, or she would be responsible for the millions of souls whose salvation would be lost if his reputation was damaged.
I read that part as well. That was like, really? That's where you're gonna go? I'm like,
that's quite hectic. And again, it is alleged, but then the feedback from the actual ministry, the RZIM, actually does concur with a lot of it. Yeah. Let me not say that. Let me just read back the what they shared after that. So the RZIM statement this week, which was a few weeks ago, said the investigators' findings caused us to think differently about Thompson's 2017 allegations. This is what they said. This is the board, the organization with Ravi Zacharias. Okay. We believe Lori-Ann Thompson has told the truth about the nature of her relationship with Ravi Zacharias, the board said. It is with profound grief that we recognize that because we did not believe the Thompsons and both privately and publicly perpetuated a false narrative, they were slandered for years and their suffering was greatly prolonged and intensified. This leaves us heartbroken and ashamed. In an email statement to the CNN, Thompson said she and her husband are deeply indebted to every victim and whistleblower who spoke for not only themselves, but also for us. She called the law firm report and board statement initial steps in what we can anticipate will be long and an arduous journey for RZIM towards institutional transparency and accountability, which I guess feeds into where you were going to go with the wires in the house. And where, because that's quite a lot, actually.
That's hectic. I mean, this is this world-renowned international ministry
for 40 years,
and suddenly, like how that is employed, I don't know how many people full time, and then suddenly the leader of that organization. I mean, that puts the entire organization's work in doubt. It's like, it's just, No,
it's big. And also, I mean, just from his 40 years of ministry, which God used him for, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, and I deal with this in my life, and I asked my mum on this as well. I said to her, how do you think God could have used him? Even in those stuff that he was doing, God still used him. And she said to me, well, look at you. Because I've done stuff in my life that has impacted other people in negative ways. in my life, obviously.
Yeah.
But God has managed to use me. So I guess, like on a side little note, that it seems that the God, which we believe in, and if you don't, that's all good. But He can use people even in their shit.
Absolutely. Look at some of the great characters of the Bible. David is always the go-to guy.
That's actually true.
I mean, incredible story. Did incredible things. Did some pretty bad things as well.
Yes. He ended up having sex with another man's wife who was a soldier. He then sent the soldier into battle in the front line so that he would be killed.
He got rid of the husband.
He got rid of the husband, and then he married his wife. And
Who was the girl? Bathsheba.
Bathsheba, that's correct.
Bathing on the roof. Bathsheba. Sorry, dude, I couldn't resist it. I'm sorry. I'm never gonna.
That actually wasn't bad.
I'm not gonna think about that story the same again.
Well, actually, he did actually see you in the bath. Yes.
Yes.
In Bathsheba. Yeah. No, I know where you're going with that. Thanks.
I'm sorry.
You should be sorry. You should be smacked for that. So
You did.
So can I ask just before we head into that, and then I'll leave it all to you.
Jeepers, no pressure. Okay.
If that's okay with you.
Yeah, go for it.
So it's this is basically, the report by the outside law firm, which RZIM got involved with. Coinciding with the report's release on Thursday, which was, I think it was a Thursday of about the beginning of February, I think, if I'm correct in reading this. But if I'm wrong, I apologize. It was recent. The board of directors issued a statement of corporate repentance. The board apologized for earlier statements that belittled accusers and pledged steps to support victims, combat abuse and harassment, and reassess the management structure, which is overseen now by Zacharias' eldest daughter, which is the ministry CEO, Sarah Davis. While the report, by the firm said it did not find evidence that anyone within RZIM on its board knew that Mr. Zacharias had engaged in sexual misconduct, and this is, where you're going, I think. Details in the document showed multiple red flags. This is where it gets interesting. It said several people on staff were punished after raising questions about Zacharias's his traveling plans. Sorry, his traveling with a masseuse. So when he went away,
he had a personal
masseuse, yes, or spending weeks alone in Asia. It said RZIM did not investigate the 2017 allegations, despite the case making worldwide news. In 2017, November 2017 is when Zacharias has settled his suit. Within RZIM, employees were told a reassuring narrative. The board of directors, and oddly enough, its members are anonymous, allegedly out of a desire to protect them from cultural or economic reprisals, had looked into everything. Ravi's denomination, the Christian and Missionary Alliance, had conducted a thorough and complete investigation and had cleared Zacharias of wrongdoing. Now, no money had exchanged hands between Zacharias and Thompsons, but none of this was true. This is to this report. Okay, this is from what I've been reading.
Right.
The board of directors had not looked into everything. In fact, Zacharias had flatly refused to hand over his personal electronic devices for examination. His denomination had not conducted a complete investigation, and Zacharias had agreed to pay the Thompsons $250,000 to settle his own lawsuit against them. His own lawsuit, bear in mind. And all parties were bound by a non-disclosure agreement. That is true. Even worse, emails that later leaked into the public square not only strongly implied that there was far more to the relationship, okay, which we had read about, and they also contained what appeared to be another threat, which was an explicit suicidal one. After Thompson told Zacharias she was going to tell her husband about their relationship, Ravi responded, "You promised you wouldn't, Laurie Ann. If you betray me here, I'll have no option but to bid this world goodbye, I promise." There is more, but I think we've waded quite into it, and I don't feel extremely...
No,
I don't say I feel sick, but it just feels like we've done enough.
Yeah.
And look, this is from what we've researched and from what we've read. You may agree, you may not. This is not. We're not here to choose sides at all. We're just here to bring in what has been reported and what seems to be true. Again, we're not saying that everything that we bring in that we're saying is true or saying is false. We're just acting here as bringing factual stuff and bringing other stuff that has been approved or not approved. That has been
it's factual.
Has been brought in by their legal team,
yes,
and all the research that they've done.
Yeah,
all the in-depth. They did a huge amount. So we're just bringing in what they've been saying.
Which was an independent report.
There we go.
Yeah,
Exactly. So they have no like, yes, we like it or no, we don't like it. They're just bringing what they have found to be true.
We hope not. Let's
what? Hope not what?
We hope that it was completely independent.
Yes. Well, from what we are reading,
it's because
the lawyers' firm, from what I understand, they are completely impartial. They are not anything. They are not linked to either party.
Yeah, and
that is why it would be, from what we can understand, is factual.
Yes.
Because they are impartial.
And
that's why they brought them in.
Yes, and actually, if you look at the very last sentence of the report.
Yeah.
We strived... Sit in front of the microphone.
Thank you. Yes.
We strive to balance the need for completeness with the need for expediency, and we are confident that we uncovered sufficient evidence to conclude that Mr. Zacharias engaged in sexual misconduct. That is the final sentence of the report.
Yeah. I think that's a good place to
there you go.
Leave it with the experts.
Yeah. This has been the Spaghetti Junction podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys.
It's been great, guys.
Awesome. Have a good one.
Okay. Charles, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.